Do it. Do it. Do it. Louder. 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 I heard the sound loud in my head, the occupants of my mind, ID, egos, super ego, turned instrumentalists. ID with a gong, beating my willpower, super ego on the keys, caning melodies of the seats, luring me to dance to its tune of the feet. Ego on the mic, with a guitar hung around his neck, deciding for my decision. And you know what? All I did was to cross my hands to my chest, bend my legs and tilt my head in affirmation to whatever they said, dancing to their every command. You will see it as shackle, shackle. But by the time I'm done with this very pathetic story of mine, you will call it shackles, shackles. Well, I was enslaved to one master you all know. They call him masturbation. Every time I held my phone, he glued my eyes to his online station, introducing me to this program he called Super Story. He told me that seeing Super Story will help me assess my sexual abilities, and after practicing it with a dildo, I'll be able to tell my future spouse my super sexual story. You know what? I believed the lie. I believed the so-called masturbation, and I was so comfortable with it because he subscribed for me daily. Of course, why should I be bothered about subscribing to his program when he subscribed for me daily? Then he took me to his territory. He said he was the master of the land. He made me bow to hurt, pain, shame, rejection, dejection, and paid me with satisfaction at the end of each day. Did I just hear you say, why didn't you talk to friends about it? Hey, hold on, of course I did. One night, I even sneaked out of the territory. I ran to Kemi's. I told her what was on with me. She listened. She cried with me. She even said, last, I go day alright. But you know what? She told me she was a sex addict and she couldn't shun that very addiction. Every nightstand took a part of her and she was preparing to say I do to the grave. Different destinies were getting into her. She could only see a future with many gray clouds. And then I went to my best friend's house. I told him to help me take off this chain. Femi, please, let me be free. Femi, please help me. Femi looked into my eyes. And guess what he said? Oh, sorry, you can't guess. You can't guess at all. He told me that when I think of masturbation, I should think of him in bed with me. Said each time I hold my phone to sex chat with him, I should quickly remember that he has a girlfriend and the sex wouldn't happen in reality. That way, I would feel alright. Hello? Femi, can you please define masturbation again? So confused I looked, so bemused I stood. Who else should I run to? Who else? About those guys? No. They weren't even an option. About those three guys in my head, the ID, ego, and super ego, I could literally hear them say, checkmate. Just right there at the chest of my head, they were playing me like chess. And then I saw them coming closer to me. Closer. Very close. Closer. So closer. I was stuck. They trapped me. Couldn't run. They handcuffed me and took me back to that master. Oh no. Then my shackles still all began. He tortured me. He told me I shouldn't dare escape from him. He dealt with me. Said it cost him 30 pieces of silver to buy me from those guys. Wait. My mind betrayed me. Then they locked me in the prison. I was there for 10 years, couldn't break out. 10 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 years, my mind sold me out. Then 10 years, I didn't realize that the key, while I was locked in the prison, the key was right there behind my eyes. 10 years, I couldn't spot the key. 10 years, I couldn't spot the key because it had the same color as the wall. 10 years, I didn't realize that I could only be my prison break. And without taking the break, I quickly opened the gate and I walked out. I walked out on the pain, the hurt, the rejection, the shame, only to realize that it was the same master that placed the key in there. So he painted the key same color as the wall because he knew that when I see it and let loose, he will lose his life. And you know what? That was what happened. Immediately I decided to let loose. Grace murdered the dude. Listen, immediately I decided to let loose. Grace murdered the dude. Then about those guys in my head, they weren't left out. It was time to face them. Those Judas I call my mind, it was time to face them. I told them, hey, I permitted you to be my complex psyche, to remain as complex psyche, not complex my mind. So hey, I was even lenient enough to give you accommodation in my head. I even fed you with my thoughts 3 times a day, but it seems like you didn't understand why I fed you. See, I'll tell you. I fed you with my thoughts for you to eat and freaking poop, not tell me how it tastes or how you feel it should taste. Listen, I fed you with my thoughts for you to eat and freaking poop, not tell me how it tastes or how you feel it should taste. So hey, I am the God of my mind. I have to take you where you belong. I don't mind the cost of transportation. I have to take you back to where you belong. That's the pit of my mind. And you know what? It'll even be much easier for you to eat and poop there as instructed by me. Now you addict listening to me today. You addicts listening to this poem, don't you think it's time to shun addiction? Don't you think it's time to let go and let God? Don't you think it's time to let loose and let grace murder the dude? Don't you think it's time to decide to let go? Addict, can I ask you this question again? Don't you think it's time to shun addictions? Well, I think it's time, addict, shun.
With the golden beams of the sun's rays falling.
Our black skins have kissed the naked soils. Our perspirations have risen out of our passions. Our voices are dead silent. Our moans filled with ecstasy.
You see, being grateful is not an activity but a vehicle that takes you to greatness.